Hey guys, it's Thunderguy, and today I'm giving you guys a flawless 66-0 on interchange. The score is good, but you know the gameplay isn't as good as you might think it is. But yeah, just telling you guys now, it could have been 100-0 flawless. Could have been the first 100 kill flawless, cause I didn't call in my second Osprey and Pavo, but you know the match ended too quick. And this is gonna be, I guess, my first episode or part or whatever of how to get better at Call of Duty. I'll talk about that later. I just want to talk about the opening route here on Interchange. It's a really helpful one. As you see, I went to C. Basically, I made sure no one is there. Also, I'd throw a flash right through right there, because usually, also on TDM and Kill Confirm, there's always going to be an enemy there, so I'd always throw a flash just in case. But yeah, right now, I just try to make sure no one's coming out of the A area, and just probably protect this area. And also I saw that most of our team is at the A area, so I predicted that the enemy team's gonna spawn near C, which didn't happen till a little bit later, but you know, eventually does. But always make sure though, wherever the blank spaces are on the map, your enemy might be there. But yeah, for my first part of how to get better at Call of Duty, this is probably, you know, one of the things I'm good at for commentating, so I'll just explain it. But before I get into like any real tips, I'll tell you what settings I use. I use 2 sensitivity, and this is a big thing that everyone talks about. I mean, I would use a lower sensitivity, probably like 2 to 5, I guess, because using the higher sensitivities doesn't really help that well. I mean, sure, you might get like in 180 like some of the time, but if you're facing a good player, chances are you're not going to be able to just turn around and like do a 180 drop shot or something. But yeah, I also, since 2 sensitivity, or at least the lower sensitivities, help a lot in long range. You're not going to be able to compete as well if you just use like a really high sensitivity long range, because you just won't be able to land accurate shots. But there are some people who could pull it off, but you know, if you can do that, then more power to you. But I mean, I will guarantee that a lower sensitivity is better than like a much higher one most of the time. And also, I don't use vibration. I don't use the colorblind setting. I see a lot of YouTubers use it, and I mean, I'm not really sure what the point is to use a colorblind. I mean, if anyone wants to tell me, they can. And I use the tactical button layout. The reason why, because it's easier to do drop shots, and it actually does help a lot in this game. You do get used to it after a few games. I mean, I don't really knife that much, so that's why I just stick to tactical. I mean, overall, it just helps a lot. But yeah, before I go to any of the real tips, I'd like to say I'm gonna probably give you tips on this perspective, like of an all-around player, because that's what I am. I mean, I usually use assault rifles for the most part. I don't really use SMGs, but when I use assault rifles, I usually just either rush for the assault rifles when I have to, or play defensive or whatever. I mean, depending on the situation, but usually I try to get near the enemy spawn with the assault rifle, and that's what I usually do. So I mean, the tips will apply to you more if you're that kind of player, but I can still give tips like you know, the general player. But another thing, before I start any of this, between this rush or camper stuff, I don't really consider too much about rushing or camping. I mean, the camping, I know some people complain about it, but I mean, I don't really consider myself a camper at all. But I mean, that's more the defensive playstyle that people have. And for the rushers, please don't call yourself a rusher though if you don't have any map awareness. 'Cause I see a lot of people just blindly rushing in, thinking they could go like 110 just rushing in. I mean, it doesn't work that way. If you see on YouTube, even all the most aggressive players, all of them know the maps really well and just know how to play the game overall. So before you do any of that stuff, you have to, you know the basics of the game. But yeah, I'll give you some of my first tips right now. But the most important thing about playing this game is definitely knowing the minimap. Because if you know the minimap, you can just predict where the enemies are most of the time. Usually though, where your enemies are, I mean where your teammates are, is usually where you don't want to stick around. Usually the blank spots on the map, I mean, it's easier to explain in TDM, but usually the blank spots on the map are where the enemy's going to be at, and you know, that's where you can just predict where the enemies are. I mean, I'll talk about the mini map in another match, since you know it's a lot to talk about for that. And the other two most important things are probably just knowing the maps in general. It's a little different than the mini map, but knowing the maps, how they work in general is really important, and knowing the spawn points, because in this game you want to know, knowing the spawn points might be more important than actually like knowing the map in some cases. If you know the spawn points, there's easy ways to sometimes just you know, protect over a spawn point and try to kill people there. I mean, before people say spawn trapping or whatever, it's definitely not as easy as you think, because usually, at least when I play solo, sometimes you have to just try to spawn trap them all on your own, which was not really spawn trapping, just, you know, watching over the spawns. But yeah, those are probably the three most important things. And yeah, I'll go over all this stuff later, but yeah, I'll talk about the mini map right now. The mini map is just something you have to learn just something you have to learn. At least when I see other people play in actual real life, like, I'm surprised that some people don't even look at the mini map. Like, I see, like, when I'm watching somebody play, like, I see red dots all over the map. For some reason, like, they don't, like, bother to look where the red dots are. Usually they just, I don't know, usually they just go ahead and are on their own business and do nothing. But I don't know, most people probably already know this, but looking at the mini-map is very important. I mean, also, I forgot to add this in, but you should use a silencer. I mean, other people might not, but I'd use a silencer for most of your guns. In this game, you don't want to be detected, especially since, at least the way I play, I like to kind of be near the enemy spawn, so you want to have a silencer most of the time. In some maps you can get away with it. Some guns, like I guess burst guns and single shot guns, you probably don't need a silencer, but for most guns, for like most auto guns, you'll need a silencer. But yeah, I will talk about the mini-map a little bit in this video, but more in other videos, because this match doesn't really go along with knowing the mini-map. But yeah, also as you see here, this is just a basic thing about knowing the spawns. Since they have the C flag, I think that they're gonna spawn that back here, so I kind of wait here a little bit. So yeah, I mean, this is a good. Also, right here is a pretty good spot. You just wait over there. I mean, it works well if you spawn the other side of the map. If you spawn on the A spawn in the beginning of the match, you just snipe all the people at C. But yeah, but I'll tell you once again about the mini map. I will explain it in another video, but this isn't a really good video to talk about. Also, I don't have many subs, but if you guys have any matches that you want to send to me, like, I mean, I don't want like really great matches that you guys just dominate, but like, you know, ones you think you can improve on, I could you know, talk about the video that way, because I mean, I feel like I could, you know, teach the game better if I just look at somebody else's video and point out mistakes they have, and you know, just go from there. But yeah, this video is, you know, kind of coming to an end soon. Yeah, I just called my mouse breaking at the last second, didn't really get any use out of it. But yeah, this is my kind of part 1 of how to get better at Call of Duty, and you know, final score 66-0, and I'll see you guys next time.